Hello, I am the Anime-niac. Welcome to the first installment of my review series. April's behind us now, and that means not only has the new spring season of anime started, but it is well underway. So, what better for the first episode of this series than an overview of a number of the notable new series. So, without further ado, my first impressions of the
Asura crying. Okay, 2 episodes into this series, and I still have no clue what the hell is going on. I know that there's some kid living in a giant mansion on his own, well, minus the ghost of his dead childhood friend that seems to follow him around everywhere.
I have no idea what happened to her, why she's haunting him, or why other people capable of seeing her keep calling her projected existence. But I'm hoping that's something that'll be explained along with a few other 100 things in the next few episodes.
Anyways, there's also a large number of people trying to kill him for some reason, a random demon girl who seems to want to protect him from the guys who seem to be some sort of holy organization, some chick who can pull shotguns out of her sleeves and who claims to be a friend of his older brother, and people who can summon mechs out of their shadows.
Yeah, I have no clue either, but it looks nice at least, and the theme song's done by Angela, which gets it bonus points in my book. I just wonder if they'll ever bother to explain why the ghost girl has multiple outfits.
Well, it
looks like the main character isn't completely oblivious.
well,
that was pretty simple, but a very teenage girl-like response.
Dragon Ball Kai.
Okay, the idea behind this is pretty cool. I'm pretty much sure everyone who's watching this video grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. And I know we've all made jokes about 5-episode charge-up times. Dragon Ball Kai, however, is a digitally remastered version of Dragon Ball Z with all the filler and those 5-episode charge times cut out. This means that it's cut it down from about 300 episodes of the original to only 100. It sounds pretty good.
Okay, first episode. This should be entertaining since I haven't seen this show since I was a little kid. What the hell? Why the hell is Bardock here? Did they just decide to bring in clips from the movies into the series too?
Whoa! Hang on a second. What was that? Oh my god! Is that Guilmon?
Why does Bardock have the same voice as Guilmon from Digimon Tamers? And on that note, what the hell is with Goku's voice? Did he never hit puberty? In fact, most of the voices in this show just seem really out of place. I never thought I'd say this, but I think I missed the dub voice actors.
Other than that, it seems fairly true to the original, though I've heard from other people that there were various mistakes in it, not that I saw them. But anyways, I'm still going to watch it just for what it is. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
K-On! This is the most recent series from Kyoto Animation, the guys who brought us Haruhi and Lucky Star. I think the best way to describe this series is as sort of a spiritual successor to shows like Azumanga Daioh and Lucky Star. It follows the daily life of a group of girls who join the Light Music Club, and for the first few episodes, more specifically Yui, the only one who doesn't actually play an instrument, as she buys and learns to play a guitar. Essentially, the girls all form a band, but there's this little recurring plot point about them barely having enough people to be an official club. Since they still haven't really gotten the actual music in the series started, the opening and ending themes are all we really have to go on for now. But if they're a good example of the songs that are inevitably going to be in this show, then I think I'm going to enjoy it. Other than that, the characters are interesting, make for a good combination of personalities. They actually seem a lot more like actual high school students than most series. So, this could be really interesting. Or it could go straight downhill like Lucky Star did towards the end, but I guess only time will tell with that one. Shin Mazinger Shogeki, Zed Ahead. For those who recognize parts of this title, you already have a leg up on everyone else in knowing what this is. Shin Mazinger is a retelling of the old 1970s Mazinger Z television series, incorporating elements from its various remakes and sequels.
being a fan of the original series myself, as if that wasn't obvious enough already, I was jumping for joy when I heard this series was coming out, and I was waiting patiently for April when it was going to air. However, it's pretty obvious right from the get-go that they're making this series for a new audience and not the original fans of the series. Which is a pretty obvious way to go now that I'm thinking about it, considering most fans of that series are about 40 to 50 years old at this point, and probably not watching anime anymore.
The series starts out with a flash forward, showing us the major climax of the series in order to try and get us hooked. However, it's obvious they were squishing several episodes worth of material into one episode, so it comes off as somewhat random. There's a lot of things that only those of us who knew the series beforehand would get, but even more things that left a lot of questions in our minds. Like, why is Professor Kabuto riding on top of a rocket punch? Why does the jet Scrander seem to have fingers on it? And what kind of steroids has Ankoku Daishogun been taking? Will the Mazinger army ever actually survive the first sortie we see them on? And why the hell is Tetsuya calling himself Blade when it's damn obvious it's him? I mean, there's only 2 guys in the series who dress like that, and one of them's the protagonist. Great Mazinger rising in the background behind him doesn't help this disguise either. I think the only thing that really outright disappoints me so far is the fact that even though Jam Project sings the opening, they didn't think to have their producer, Mizuki Ichiro, the artist who sang the theme to the original series, sing with them for this song. I mean, that would have just made it awesome. Eden of the East.
There are shows you pick up because you looked at them and you thought, hey, this is pretty interesting. And then there are shows you pick up because a friend of yours told you, hey, this is really good, you have to watch it. Those shows, because of differing tastes between people, can be hit or miss. And Eden of the East falls into that category for me.
I really hadn't looked into this show that much beforehand, but hey, I'm all for giving anything a try, so let's see how this... Oh my god! Is that Oasis? Oh my god, it is! A Japanese production studio actually got Oasis to do the opening theme for a show? That's awesome! That alone may make this show worth watching. Anyways, beyond that, there's also a few other things you notice pretty quickly. The first episode, at least, takes place in Washington, D.C., with the protagonist heading to see the White House. The first thing you'd notice aside from that is the voice acting.
In most anime, when it takes place outside of Japan, everyone speaks fluent Japanese. And even when they do have people speak English, it's done with a very obvious Japanese accent. However, the best part about this show is that they actually hired American voice actors to do most of the voices.
And here's your bag.
Aren't you in room B on the 3rd floor?
Come this way, please. Are you Japanese?
Authenticity. You can hear the difference. Aside from all that, though, it seems like a pretty standard shoujo anime from all angles. Well, until of course he shows up. Like someone ripped right out of an action anime, he seems really out of place at first, but sooner or later the series starts to revolve around him. Who knows, maybe he was meant to be a jarring little exception to normal life. Like the creators tried to show us he was out of place in this peaceful little world. Memories erased, multiple passports, some odd organization backing him up. It kind of reminds me of the Bourne Identity.
Well, at least they admit it.
I need to see your Johnny.
And that's all for this video. Now, there are a few other series that aired this season, but this is all I can get to in one video. So, until next time, I am the Anime-niac. Thank you for watching.